Breaking news, a federal court judge has rejected the plea deal that Genoveva Andrade made with prosecutors.
She is the former chief of staff of embattled former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia. She had pleaded guilty to charges of extortion, bribery, and making false statements, admitting she helped Correia shake down marijuana businesses for bribes.
Target 12 investigator Steph Machado is live outside a federal court in Boston with why the judge rejected this deal and what this means for the case going forward. Steph?
Well, the prosecution and defense had agreed that Andrade should not do jail time for her crimes, but the judge said he was concerned that sentence was too lenient, and he rejected the plea deal altogether. Genoveva Andrade, known as Jen, leaving court Thursday in tears after a judge rejected a plea deal that would have left her with no jail time for her role in a corruption case that has rocked Fall River for years. Andrade was the chief of staff to former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia when he shook down marijuana vendors for bribes in exchange for his approval of their proposed pot shops. Correia was convicted by a jury last month. Andrade had chosen not to go to trial, pleading guilty to 6 counts of extortion, bribery, and making false statements in December. But the plea deal included a negotiated sentence of no jail time, 12 months supervised release, and a $10,000 fine. In court Thursday at what would have been her sentencing hearing, Judge Douglas Woodlock said Andrade should be incarcerated and suggested she should pay restitution to the citizens of Fall River. The judge noted Andrade at one point lied to prosecutors after they gave her immunity in the case. The prosecution in a pre-sentencing memo wrote, quote, "In essence, Andrade served as a consigliere to the man who ran Fall River as an old-school, pay-to-play, corrupt city." In part of the case against Andrade, she's accused of conspiring to extort Charles Salibi, meeting with him and Mayor Correia inside Salibi's convenience store in Fall River where he wanted to open a marijuana store. Salibi testified she told him, "Your family," after the bribe was negotiated. Now, Andrade was prepared to speak in court today, but she decided not to once it became clear that the judge was leading towards throwing out her deal. The case basically goes back to square one now. She remains charged with those 6 crimes. She could negotiate a new plea deal with prosecutors or even have a trial. Both the prosecution and defense declined to comment on this unexpected twist in the case. Live in Boston, I'm Steph Machado, 12 News.
First, breaking news in the corruption case against former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia's chief of staff.
This is video of Genoveva Andrade leaving court this afternoon, showing shortly after a federal judge rejected her plea deal. She agreed to plead guilty last year to multiple charges, including extortion and conspiracy. Target
12 investigator Steph Machado was in federal court in Boston for today's turn of events and joins us now live with an update. Steph?
Andrade's case now basically goes back to square one. She remains charged with 6 federal crimes, but at this point her options are to negotiate a new plea deal with prosecutors or go to trial. Genoveva Andrade, known as Jen, left court Thursday with her family, emotional after an unexpected twist in her case. The deal she negotiated with prosecutors more than 6 months ago, rejected by a judge. It would have spared her jail time. Andrade was chief of staff to former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia when he extorted businessmen who wanted to open marijuana stores in the city, demanding bribes in exchange for city approvals. Andrade pleaded guilty to participating in the scheme in December. The negotiated sentence was 12 months of supervised release and a $10,000 fine. But Judge Douglas Woodlock thought the sentence should include some jail time and possibly restitution to the citizens of Fall River. Andrade had also pleaded guilty in December to giving Correia a more than $20,000 bribe as a kickback for giving her the job. But Correia was acquitted of that particular charge. After the jury never heard from Andrade during his trial, Andrade's attorney in court today saying she believed in Correia, but their relationship was complicated, saying, quote, "He saw her and took advantage of her by requiring her to give half of her salary to him. Why she acquiesced to that, I don't know." And Andrade's defense attorney declined to comment outside court after that plea deal was rejected. Prosecutors also declined to comment. It's unclear what the U.S. Attorney's Office will do now in prosecuting her case. Of course, they already secured the conviction of their primary target in this corruption case, which was Jasiel Correia. Live in Boston, I'm Steph Machado, 12 News.